So in this video, I want to discuss the reasons why the visions with DMT and mushrooms tend to have a lot of Egyptian and specifically Mayan and Aztec type motifs and archetypes, and just the overall aesthetic of it and the visual nature of it. A lot of people report seeing specifically hieroglyphic type imagery, and me personally, I have actually seen a lot of that stuff. And when I first began experimenting with DMT and mushrooms and things of that nature, I was seeing a lot of that stuff in my closed-eyed visuals. And I can give you an example of some of the imagery that I was seeing. So to me, this was very bizarre, and I couldn't really put my finger on why this is happening. And I was actually starting to think that maybe certain, I believe that the Mayans or the Aztecs and maybe the Egyptians, I was wondering if it was a chicken or the egg thing, whether they were inspired by the visions that they had under these altered states of consciousness, or they just created this imagery and then somehow this imagery has been implanted into these experiences through some sort of cultural collective unconscious of some sort. I don't really know exactly how to pinpoint what's going on here, but it seems to me that since we know that the Mayans and the Aztecs, they were using specifically mushrooms to access these worlds, I can only assume that it's possible that they were seeing this imagery and that that's what influenced their motifs and architecture and overall style. And a lot of it has similarities with Egyptian stuff in terms of it's almost hieroglyphic in a certain sense, but the Mayans also have a bit more of some sort of jungle vibe to it, and so is the Aztecs. With the Egyptians, I know that apparently they might have been using a DMT containing plant. I don't know if this is 100% certain, but apparently they took a DMT containing plant and went into the pyramids and used them almost as a sensory deprivation tank. And now I don't know if this is confirmed or not. This is just rumors that I've heard. I'm not too educated in the history and background of the Egyptians, so I don't know exactly what they were tapping into. But I'm assuming if they were interested in altered states of consciousness, that they would somehow find the DMT realm, because the DMT realm apparently is a highly resonant state, and supposedly you can get there through meditation as well. But I personally haven't been able to do that. If I could, I would definitely just start meditating instead of having to take a psychedelic to get there. That would be pretty awesome. But something about how the imagery emerged, I don't really understand where it came from with all of these people. I don't know how they were able to create that, but still it's very bizarre to me. I don't know if it came first or if they were just trying to recreate what they saw on their trips. That's basically my opinion, is that they were trying to recreate what they saw on their trips. Because with me, I see also a lot of circus imagery, so I would describe it as a ancient Egyptian circus or carnival with a Mayan twist, and that's actually what's been inspiring my art to basically become something that is very unique to my own ability. And I personally haven't seen other stuff that people have done that comes close to what I've done in terms of uniqueness and difference. And I know that nowadays a lot of psychedelic art is coming out that's starting to come very close to it. Like I see either people choosing Egyptian motifs or choosing carnival motifs to explain the DMT experience, but for me, I've just been kind of combining them all into one sort of coherent collage of different, I guess, cultures maybe. But in the old cultures, I don't know if the clown imagery was all that common. It might be in the Egyptian stuff. I'm not terribly educated in the history of all this stuff. I should really look into it, but as you guys know, I'm pretty busy, so it's hard for me to do that. But it's so bizarre to me, and I'm very interested to see where art is going to evolve from these experiences, and where we're going to be taking the specific experiences that we have, and how we're going to express them. I was thinking, maybe there's going to be new culture and architecture that's going to evolve from these experiences that we're having, and we're going to start creating buildings and structures with it. That's what I've always wanted to see happen, is us pretty much having these experiences and then building the experience into the real world, and then it turning into the DMT trip, because it starts in the imagination, and then it gets pushed out into the real world. And I think that's how maybe the Mayans and the Egyptians were doing it. At first they were just seeing it in their head, and then all of a sudden they just ended up putting it out in the world, and that's how we got such very unique and very mystical and mysterious artwork and architecture. And yeah, my opinion for the future is that we're probably going to do the same, or at least I would hope that we do the same. And I hope that you guys can maybe give me some more information and some more data on what you think about this stuff. If you guys know about the Egyptians using any sort of entheogens to access these kinds of worlds to be able to be inspired by their art, definitely let me know about that. And I'm just going to end this video with showing you guys some of the artwork that I've been working on. Right now I'm working on getting better at portrait drawing. So right now I'm doing an Ariana Grande portrait, and I'm doing the Nathan Folks facial mapping technique. I already got the eyes laid in, but that's I think it'll turn out pretty well. And I also am doing a drawing that I've shared before with ZBrush. I'm trying to add ZBrush geometry with this centaur looking Tarzan guy that I'm drawing. And also I'll show you my progress on a Carnage drawing that I've sort of came up with in my head in terms of the composition of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. So